You are at a coffee shop. You connect to what looks like the shop's Wi Fi. Your email opens fine, banking app looks normal, everything works. And someone in the corner is reading every package you send. Man in the middle attacks aren't loud. That's the point. Today, we're breaking down how attackers position themselves between you and the internet, the 6 ways they do it in 2026, and how to keep them out. Every network connection has two endpoints and a path between them. Man in the middle attacks are about positioning yourself on that path. Once you're there, you can read what passes through, modify it, redirect it, impersonate either endpoint. Two attacker capabilities matter here: passive and active. Passive is reading that traffic silently. Passive attackers want to stay invisible, harvest credentials, and disappear. Active involves modifying that traffic, injecting code, redirecting connections. Active attackers are willing to break things to get what they want. The scary part isn't that man in the middle exists. It's that a well-executed attack is nearly invisible. Your applications will still work. Certificates might not even warn you. You'll have no idea anything is wrong until the consequences show up weeks later. Drained accounts, breached data, compromised credentials sold on the dark web. Let's look at the 6 main techniques used. Each attacks a different layer of trust in how networks work. 1. ARP spoofing. On a local network, ARP maps IP addresses to MAC addresses. There's no authentication built in. An attacker broadcasts fake ARP responses, claiming their MAC is the gateway's MAC. Now, every packet you send toward the internet goes through them first. Local network only, but devastating in coffee shops, offices, or shared spaces. 2. DNS spoofing or poisoning. If an attacker can inject fake DNS responses, they can send you to any server they control while the browser shows the real domain. Poisoned caches compromise local resolvers or misconfigured recursive servers, all viable paths. 3. SSL stripping. Even if you type https://bank.com, an attacker in the middle can intercept your initial HTTP request and quietly downgrade the connection. Now you see bank.com, no lock icon. But who checks, right? Meanwhile, attackers maintain the encrypted connection to the real bank on the back end. 4. Evil twin access points. The attacker sets up a Wi-Fi network with the same name as the legitimate one. Coffee shop guest, airport Wi-Fi, hotel free. Your device connects automatically if it's seen the SSID before. 5. Session hijacking. Your authenticated session lives in a cookie or a token. If an attacker steals that token through network sniffing, malware, or a compromised session store, a password is not needed. They can log in as you until the session expires. And 6. BGP hijacking. Nation-state level. BGP routes traffic between internet providers. Announce a route before IP range, and traffic to that range flows through your infrastructure. Whole countries have been routed this way. It's rare, but consequences are massive. 2 developments changed the man-in-the-middle landscape in the last few years. Encrypted DNS over HTTPS and DNS over TLS. These protocols hide DNS lookups from network observers, which is great for privacy, but also breaks a lot of enterprise monitoring. If your organization's security tools rely on plain text DNS to spot suspicious lookups. Encrypted DNS blinds them. Attackers know this. They configure malware to use DOH endpoints they control, tunneling command and control traffic through legitimate-looking HTTPS. When your traffic flows through shared cloud infrastructure, load balancers, CDNs, managed services, you are trusting the cloud provider not to inspect or modify your data. That's usually a safe assumption, but cloud configurations, compromised service accounts, and lateral movement between tenants all create paths for man in the middle that didn't exist when networks were on-prem. And attackers automate tools like BetterCap and modern rogue AP kits make sophisticated attacks. What used to require deep networking expertise now requires reading a README. How do we identify man-in-the-middle attacks? Man-in-the-middle detection is hard because it is quiet, but there are signals. ARP anomaly, duplicate MAC addresses for different IPs, or the same IP suddenly resolving to a different MAC, indicate ARP spoofing. Enterprise switches with dynamic ARP inspection catch this. Home routers usually don't. Certificate warnings and changes. If a site's certificate suddenly changes issuer, changes fingerprint, or your browser warns you, pay attention. Users are trained to click through these warnings. Don't. DNS response anomalies. Unexpected IPs for known domains. TTL values that don't match what the authoritative server says. Sudden route changes for corporate domains. These are subtle but detectable with proper monitoring. Network monitoring for unusual patterns. How to stop man-in-the-middle. The good news, modern defenses against man-in-the-middle attacks are strong. The bad news, most organizations don't fully deploy them. HTTPS everywhere. HSTS headers force browsers to always use HTTPS for every domain. Blocking SSL stripping. HTTP public key pinning is deprecated, but certificate transparency and CT provide similar guarantees. VPN on untrusted networks, coffee shops, hotels, airports, conferences. We assume the network is safe. Never assume. A properly configured VPN encrypts everything before it hits the local network, defeating ARP spoofing and evil twin attacks in one move. Port authentication. In enterprise environments, only authenticated devices get on the network. Rogue devices, including attacker laptops running man-in-the-middle tools, never establish a connection. DNSSEC and encrypted DNS. DNSSEC signs DNS responses so recipients can verify authenticity. DOH and decrypt DNS queries so network attackers can't tamper with them. Deploy both where you can. Certificate pinning for critical apps. Mobile banking apps, corporate VPNs, and security-critical clients should pin the specific certificate or CA. Even a valid certificate from a trusted CA gets rejected if it doesn't match the PIN value. Wireless security. WPA3 for new deployments. Rogue AP detection through wireless IDS. Client isolation on guest network so devices can't attack each other. And on the other side, don't auto-connect to open networks. Zero trust architecture. The philosophy that ties this together. Never trust the network. Encrypt everything. Authenticate every request. Assume attackers are already inside. That's the direction enterprise security is moving, and man-in-the-middle defenses are part of why. These attacks in 2026 are quieter, more automated and diverse than they used to be, but the defenses work when deployed. VPN on hostile networks, DNS sec and encrypted DNS, certificate pinning where it matters, zero trust as the guiding architecture. I put together a man-in-the-middle defense checklist, the personal security controls, enterprise controls, and a public Wi-Fi survival guide. Download it at Nas'scyber.com. Link is in the description. In the next episode, we will be wrapping up the attack series with insider threats and privilege escalation. Subscribe so you don't miss out.